The Dregs #1, written by Zach Thompson and Lonnie Nadler, art by Eric Zawadzki, with colors by D. Caniff. We open in British Columbia, where an assumably homeless man is stripped and then turned into sausage. Nummy. So the titular Dregs is the homeless and drugged out section of Vancouver, where our main character is a homeless drug addict. He dopes up, then wanders the city, until at night he stops by an empty lot that used to be a building in which his friend Manny, assumably the homeless guy from the beginning, used to live. As he stares at it, holding on to the chain link fence, a woman steps from the shadows, puffing on a fancy vape pen. She points him to the public meeting coming up for him to find his answers about the beautification project ruining the Dregs. So at the open meeting, the CEO of Canary Enterprises, Beck Lasco, says that he loves the community and wants to, for lack of a better term, make the area great again. Our homeless protagonist makes a scene asking where his friend is, but gets thrown out for his troubles. He slinks back into his dank alleyway and shoots up again. He then goes back to his cardboard home, but it's been destroyed. All his books, save for one Raymond Chandler novel, are gone. So he goes and waits at the old lot until he finds a clue, a person in a red hoodie. He trails the man in the hoodie, but the guy gives him the slip through a door. The building he loses the guy at, owned by Canary Enterprises. Suddenly he starts to piece it all together, making a map and really figuring out the generals of it all, even finding a dead body of a junkie who would rather die than be food for the pigs. However, our homeless guy can't think straight, so he shoots up again. Then, in his tripped out stupor, men in surgical masks grab him and take him away. So I got a bit of heat from my last Black Mass comic review, mainly because I found it not bad, but underwhelming when it came to the marketing that came around it. As for this, I saw literally nothing on this book and was legitimately surprised on how good it was. This is an indie book through and through. It speaks of a greater social rot using the most underutilized viewpoint for most anything, a homeless junkie. Actually, and I would have said this even if there wasn't a Raymond Chandler novel in it, this is a noir thriller through and through. The writing is trying to unravel a mystery that's relatively straightforward in its setup, trying to figure out the true evil behind the Canary stuff. Though I think that us as the audience know this by the opening, but who knows? I know I'm willing to follow this mystery. I dig it hardcore, and the artwork really plays up the noir feel, with very muted and dirty colors, save for when he's having tripped out scenes, where it then gets kind of stained glass-like, I want to say. And the line work is loose to make it almost feel as comics, that's comics with an X to make it super indie, as possible. It revels in the grime of the gutter, and I wholeheartedly enjoyed that style. So my verdict on this is fairly obvious. It's got a great indie feel, it does have a social message that's built into the narrative without being tacked on, and a fantastic hobo noir feel. So go out and buy it. Buy it as a verdict is obvious, it means you should go out as soon as possible and add this to your pull list or buy it single. But you should definitely buy it, either digitally or from your local comic shop. And that's all for this episode of First Issues Now. If you agree with me that this is an awesome comic, or if you think that it's just a doped up bum bombing around Vancouver for 30 or so pages, then let me know in the comments below. Like the Comic Archivist Facebook page, follow us on Twitter at Bradley Nephilim, and pledge to our Patreon for some exclusive content and choice of reviews. Check out my two other channels, ComicSins, where I nitpick and fanboy over comics, and A Comic a Day, where this month is all about the Dark Tower comics with a special guest. And as always, stay golden, Inklings.